I thought it would be so fun to print out these pictures. I wrote on the back just a little paragraph about them, maybe where they were born. Some of them were born far, far away.
So it's sort of flashcard style.
Kind of flashcards, yeah. And I think it's so important to just see their faces. I'm willing to bet wherever you hang this in your home, people will gather around.
You know, those old black and white photos celebrate history and tell a story all their own. Earlier this week, Cami Packers showed us how to create an ancestry banner using photos from your own family tree. It's just one way she invites the pioneer spirit into her home each July 24th. Welcome back to Studio 5. I'm guest host Amy Iverson, and today we add to that idea with a simple needle and thread. Through some trial and error, fiber artist Rebecca Woolston has managed to embroider right onto a photograph, adding some color and whimsy to otherwise formal, more serious snapshots in no time. And she's here to teach us. So thankful you're here. She is the bomb when it comes to embroidery. Okay, so what sparked this idea for you?
I saw this online. I just saw someone had taken some old photos and stitched right onto them. And I thought specifically of this photo of my grandma with all these hollyhocks. And I thought,
this one.
Why don't we go ahead and try something like that? So
yeah, let's look at some of these examples that you've brought here. So we see this one with the hollyhocks, but they're all so imaginative.
Yeah, so this one probably took me the longest because it's got a bit more detail. And then this one here is my grandma, and she was all dressed up. So I thought, let's add a little red carpet right here. And then let's see.
On the other side here,
I've got my grandparents, and I just stitched a little heart on them. And then here is my grandma with all of her children, and so I put a little corsage on her as the matriarch.
Was there a corsage there before?
There was,
okay,
yes.
you just
but I just
brightened it up.
Embellished. And then this is my mom with her crown of Miss Desert Blossom and Spanish fork. And so I did two here because I thought you could really see the difference between when you add it to a color photo, it really doesn't have the same effect as if you do a black and white photo. So instead I did a black and white, and it really kind of pops there.
So makes it pop, and just so fun, and something you would really, it would be a conversation starter.
Yeah.
People always, I'm sure, ask you.
Well, and it's just fun to kind of humanize a little element. It's like, she probably wasn't going to a red carpet event here, but you know what? Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, is there I see you've printed these out. Any tips for us on what type of paper is best?
Yes, so I have tried these out on actual photo paper. I would never recommend using an old family photo with an art project.
You're saying you tried to do it on the original photo?
No, so I scanned it and then printed it on photo paper, but the photo paper is just too weak. So this is 100-pound cardstock, and it's just much more substantial because when you try to stitch into really thin paper, it just bends and it's not.
You need it thick.
Yeah, you need it thick like this.
Can you show us how to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So I've tried a few different ways. With the photo paper, I just tried poking like a normal embroidery stitch, and that did not work. Okay. So instead, I get the needle that I'm using, and then I just poke into whatever it is that I want to stitch. So I kind of have to have a little forethought because, you know, I'm not just going to go poke everywhere. But you want to just use a soft surface and then just kind of poke your needle into where you think you'll be doing some stitches. So for this, I've got this basket of flowers my mom's holding for her engagement photo.
So where did you choose to put the holes?
The holes I'm just putting right over the flowers, and then I'll go in and add that. So
so you can see really good on the back side like that.
Popped up.
So you do this all over where you think you're going to put stitches. You're just kind of winging it, being creative with where you're going to put it.
Feeling it out. And then instead of doing a knot, so I'm going to go through my first spot. Thank you. And you know, you do need to tug a little bit more than you would with fabric, but instead of doing a knot, I am just going to put a little piece of tape on the back, which is great if you don't like knots. You know,
yes,
that
and
makes
you're using
it much
the
faster.
full thickness of a piece of embroidery thread. Okay.
So typically embroidery thread is a little thin, but so I'm actually using some pretty thick stuff. This is tapestry cotton, and this is called pearl cotton. So it's a little bit thicker than your average embroidery thread. But I like this because it has a bigger effect faster. So that's less holes that you're poking and pulling through. But you could use embroidery thread.
Okay.
I think whatever you have on hand can work. Great.
And
Yes.
you found that one knot that is the bane of my embroidery existence works best, and that is the French knot.
The French knot, yes. So if you see here on this hollyhock picture,
We're seeing the video of you doing
with a French
one of
knot.
these.
Okay, yes. So I pull it through and then just do a little twist and then go back in the same hole that I used or just right next to it. So because I've already poked that hole in advance, it makes it super simple to just go through again. And then I'll look at the back, figure out where the next hole is that I poked, and do another French knot. And it just makes it a little simpler so that you don't have to be connecting the holes. It's hard to see on the photo.
So you're doing one French knot per hole?
Yes.
Basically, okay.
Yep. But then you can make it as thick or as thin as you want with that French knot. But you know, when you put several French knots together, it really does make a full
beautiful effect. Yes, beautiful. And you did kind of different sizes. So how do you finish these off?
So for this one, I actually this is an 8.5 by 11 paper. I just put it in a frame and I left the glass off so that it wouldn't be too, smashing it. And that way you can really see the texture of it. Or, you could just display it like we have here on a little easel, or you could mount it to black foam cord to make it more finished.
And do you just leave it taped like this? That's all you need to do? You don't need to do anything else?
No one's going to see the back.
Now, I understand you offer digital patterns or just full DIY kits.
Yes, I do. On Etsy, and my Instagram is Rebecca Made, and I sell all the things you might need for getting into embroidery yourself.
And it's so fun. It's fun, right?
It's fun.
Once I started, I kind of got hooked, and it's exciting.
Yeah, and it's great to take on the go. I was just doing some embroidery while I was waiting here, so it's very fun.
I attest to it. I saw her doing it other. Thanks so much, Rebecca.
Yeah.
All right, we will link you to the Etsy shop from our website, studio5.ksl.com. You can also review today's tutorial by clicking on the Projects tab at the top of the screen.